Hello guys, what's up? MorpekoTCG here, and today we're looking at a new deck profile. Today we're looking actually at Tera Box, and really insane deck with unique ways to win, with unique attacks, and yeah, I really love this deck. I'm actually playing a bit different than like you see it on regionals. For example, I play Cornerstone Ogerpon because I think Cornerstone is actually one of the best cards we currently have for the current meta, like against Goldango, Crimson, Charizard, yeah. And I'm also playing some other cards that not maybe every Tera Box player plays. And yeah, I think we'll instantly start with the deck list. Of course, we're playing 4 Hoothoot. I'm playing 2 from Temporal Forces and 2 from Prismatic Evolutions. I'm playing this 2 because on our locals there's many Dragapult actually, and yeah, because like if the Dragapult plays Holucha, they put 1 damage counter on 1 Hoothoot and then put the other 6 damage counters with the Dragapult attack on Hoothoot and knocks out Hoothoot. Can't happen with 80 HP. We still have to look out because this Hoothoot has 2 retreat costs and this has only 1 retreat cost. Also the Hoothoot from Stellar Crown only has 1 retreat cost, but if we play like Latias EX, we don't care about the retreat cost, of course. Then we come into the key engine card of our deck, the 4 Noctowl with the ability Jewel Sucure. If we put Noctowl from our hand to one of our Pokemon to evolve it, and if we have a Tera Pokemon play, we can search our deck for 2 trainer cards and put them into our hand, so it doesn't depend which trainer card. We can search for a Supporter, for item, Pokemon tool, or a Stadium card. And yeah, we still have to watch out to have a Tera Pokemon play, so if we don't have a Tera Pokemon play and evolve Noctowl, nothing happens, so we just evolve it, but we can't search for anything. Yeah, but still a strong card and the key engine of this deck. To search for something in the first turn, we have Ditto. Once during our first turn with its ability, if it's in the active spot, we can put it with all attached cards onto our discard pile and search our deck for any basic Pokemon and put in the active spot. So Ditto's an active spot, we discard it with all attached cards, search our deck for something new basic Pokemon and put into our active spot. It depends on the situation. Mostly we want to search for Tera Pokemon, but there are also scenarios where you search for the Fan Rotom. And speaking of Fan Rotom, we are all of course playing 2 in this deck with the ability Fan Call. Once during our first turn, we can search our deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less. It's perfect because our Hoothoot have 70 and 80 HP, our Noctowl have 100 HP and the Ditto has 60 HP. And yeah, we can search 3 of them. Mostly we search 2 Hoothoot and 1 Noctowl, but it depends of course on the situation. I also had situations where I just searched for 3 Hoothoot, since I had already 2 Noctowl in our hand. So yeah, it depends on our starting hand. Then we're coming to the first attacker, Terapagos EX 2 times in this deck. First of all, with the attack Unified Beatdown, for each of our bench Pokemon we deal 30 damage. Of course, we're playing with Area 0 Underdepths, so with Area 0 Underdepths we can have up to 8 Pokemon on our bench, and then we deal 240 damage for just 2 colors energy, which is insane to knock out basic Pokemon like Raging Ball EX, Fezandipiti EX, Mew EX, Squawkabilly EX, so yeah, very nice attack. And I also think the second attack, Chronopole, can be in some matchups really good. For 1 Grass energy, 1 Water energy, and 1 Lightning energy, we deal 180 damage, and we prevent all damage done to Terapagos by basic Pokemon from our opponent except for colorless Pokemon. So Bloodmoon Ursaluna or Tera Box EX can still damage our Terapagos, but things like Raging Ball, Teal Mask, Ogerpon can't damage us in our next turn because they're basic Pokemon and we prevent basic Pokemon. So I still think Chronopole is also a very nice attack for this deck. We're playing for the energy and draw 2 Teal Mask Ogerpon EX with the ability Teal Dance. Once during our turn we can attach a basic grass energy from our hand to Teal Mask Ogerpon. If we do that we can draw cards, and of course we can also play energy switch, so if we have a Teal Mask, attach the energy with the ability, draw 1 card, then play E-switch and move the energy to another Pokemon we need. That's why we play 2 in this deck. Then we're playing 2 Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX with 2 really nice attacks. First of all, the attack Soap. For 1 colorless energy we deal 20 damage and draw off our opponent's active Pokemon, so our opponent can retreat during the next turn except if he plays like card Switch or something. And we're coming to the second attack, which is an insane attack. I love this attack, Torrential Pump. For 1 Water energy and 2 colorless energy we deal 100 damage, and we may shovel 3 energy from Wellspring Ogerpon into our deck. If we do that we can deal 120 damage to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon, which is insane to take like 2 prize cards in 1 turn if we have a low HP matchup, or to destroy our opponent's strategy in the first turn actually, or better say in our second turn if we have like a matchup against a Dragapult and he has a Treebee in the active and Treebee on the bench. We just use this attack, knock out 2 of them, and our opponent can like already give up since he has not another Treebee. Another attacker for high HP Pokemon is Pikachu EX. First of all, its ability Resolute Heart is insane. If Pikachu has full HP and gets knocked out by damage from a Pokemon, it doesn't get knocked out and has 190 HP left. So for example, if we have, I don't know, Pikachu EX and our opponent has, I don't know what to play, Terapagos EX, for example, and it attacks us with 240 damage and we have full HP. We don't get knocked out, we survive with 190 HP. And the attack is also insane. For 1 grass energy, 1 lightning energy and 1 metal energy, we deal 300 damage and we have to discard 3 energy from Pikachu. It's really good to knock out basic Pokemon EX. You can also knock out Mega Pokemon like Mega Absol EX, Mega Kangaskhan EX. So yeah, very nice card. We are playing 4 Dragon Ball matchups. 1 Lillie's Clefairy EX. With the ability Fairy Zone, every Dragon Pokemon of our opponent has a Psychic weakness, so we can like one-hit KO the Dragon Ball with our Clefairy. The attack Full Moon Rounder does 20 damage and 20 damage for each bench Pokemon from us and our opponent. So if we have like 5 Pokemon on our bench and our opponent also has 5 Pokemon on his bench, we deal 220 damage, so against the Dragon Ball 440 damage. And I think Clefairy is actually not only good for Dragon Ball matchups, I mean 220 damage. If we have Area 0 Underdepths in game, we can deal 280 damage. It's a really good card, I think, for like every matchup. And yeah, that's why we play it, of course, because of the Dragon Ball meta in it. Then, like I already mentioned, I'm playing 1 Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. With its ability, we prevent all damage done to Cornerstone Ogerpon by Pokemon that have an ability. So Goldango can attack, Teal Mask can attack, Crimsnarl can attack, Charizard can attack. It's just insane. I really love this deck, and I think in the current format this card is just insane. And with its attack Demolish, we do 140 damage for 1 fighting and 2 colorless energy. And the attack damage doesn't get affected by any effects on our opponent's active Pokemon. So for example, if our opponent has a Mimikyu in the active spot from Paldea Evolve, which prevents all damage done by Pokemon EX, Cornerstone still deals damage since it's ignoring Mimikyu's ability. For the late game, we play 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX with the ability Season Skill. For every prize card our opponent has taken, the attack Bloodmoon gets reduced by 1 colorless energy. So for example, we actually need 5 energy to deal 240 damage, but if our opponent has already taken 4 prize cards, we just need 1 colorless energy to attack with the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. For our free retreat, we're playing Latias EX with the ability Skyline. All of our basic Pokemon have no retreat cost. For an additional draw, we have Mew EX with the ability Restart. Once during our turn, we can draw as many cards as long as we have 3 cards in our hand. So if we have like 1 card in our hand, we lose the Mew, draw 2 cards, so we have 3 cards in hand. And also the attack German Hacking can be sometimes useful. We'll choose one of our opponent's active Pokemon attacks and use it as the attack of Mew. And for our additional draw, we're playing 1 Fezandipiti EX with the ability Flip the Script. Once during our turn, if during our opponent's last turn one of our Pokemon got knocked out, we can draw 3 cards. Then we're coming to the trainer cards. Of course, we're playing 4 Crispin. With Crispin, we can search our deck for 2 basic energies of a different type, put one of them into our hand and attach the another energy to one of our Pokemon. It's important to say that the one energy we have to put into our hand is the first energy we choose. So if we like, for example, play Crispin, search our deck for metal energy and water energy, then we first have to choose one energy we want to put in the hand. So for example, if we put a metal energy into our hand, that's the first energy we have to use, and the second energy, in that case the water energy, is the one that we attach. So for example, if you have like just one energy only in your deck, then you have to put it into your hand and can't attach it to one of your Pokemon. That's important to say when you play Crispin. We're playing 2 Iono. With Iono, every player shuffles his hand and puts on the bottom of his deck. Then every player draws a card for each prize card remaining. So for example, if we play Iono, put the cards on the bottom of our deck. Then if we have 4 prize cards remaining, we draw 4 cards. If our opponent has 6 prize cards remaining, he draws 6 cards. Then we play 2 Boss's Orders. With Boss's Orders, we can switch one of our opponent's bench Pokemon with his active Pokemon. So if you see he has 1 prize on the active spot but a 2 prize on the bench, we just play Boss, put a 2 prize on the active spot to knock it out. And our last supporter is Professor Turo's Scenario. With Professor Turo's Scenario, we can put one of our Pokemon into our hand and have to discard all attached cards. So for example, if we get like our Noctowl gets stalled, we just play Turo, put it back into our hand and have to discard all attached cards. For our items, we start with 4 Nestball. With Nestball, we can search our deck for 1 basic Pokemon, put it onto our bench. It's perfect since the only evolution Pokemon we play in this deck out of 4 Noctowl. The rest of the deck are all basic Pokemon. But we have, of course, also have another card to search for the Noctowl. With 4 Ultra Ball, we can use Ultra Ball only if we discard 2 other cards from our hand. If we do that, we can search our deck for any Pokemon we want and put it to our hand. So we can search for a basic Pokemon, for an evolution Pokemon, or Pokemon with Rulebox. Then we're playing, like I already mentioned, 2 Energy Switch. With Energy Switch, we can move 1 basic energy attached to one of our Pokemon to another Pokemon. That's what I meant with the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So we can use the ability Teal Dance, attach a Grass energy to the Teal Mask Ogerpon, then use Energy Switch and move the Grass energy to another of our Pokemon which we want to attack with. For our energy search, we're playing one Earthen Vessel. We can play Earthen Vessel only if we discard another card from our hand. If we do that, we can search our deck for 2 basic energy cards and put them into our hand. Then we're playing Switch, like the card already says. We can just switch one of our bench Pokemon with our active Pokemon, like if we get stalled or we're missing the Latias, it can be also a good card. We're playing one Night Stretcher. With Night Stretcher we can take one basic energy or one Pokemon from our discard pile into our hand. Mostly you want to take like Noctowl or something back into your hand, but this also depends on the situation matchup you have to use it. We're playing one Super Rod. With Super Rod we can shuffle a combination out of 3 Pokemon and basic energy from our discard pile into our deck. So we can shuffle like 3 basic energy or 3 Pokemon, or 2 basic energy, 1 Pokemon, or 2 Pokemon or 1 basic energy. Yeah, like you want. Also a card that depends on the situation where you play it, but still very, very good. Our ace spec is of course the Sparkling Crystal. If Sparkling Crystal is attached to a Tera Pokemon, the attacks of the Tera Pokemon get reduced by 1. It actually doesn't depend which energy it gets reduced, so we can choose the energy that gets reduced by, like example, if we play Wellspring and put a Sparkling Crystal into Wellspring, we can say that this card only needs 2 colorless energy to attach, since the Sparkling Crystal is for the water energy as an addition in that case. Or we play it for the Pikachu eggs and just say we have a lightning and metal energy attached to Pikachu eggs, then the Sparkling Crystal reduces the grass energy. But you still have to watch out when you play it, if you play it early game or in the late game, since you of course just have 1 in this deck. We're playing for the stable 2 Area 0 Underdepths. First of all, of course, to increase the damage of our Terapagos EX attacks to 240 damage, and secondly of all, you actually need this bench spot. So with Area 0 Underdepths, if you have a Tera Pokemon in play, you can have up to 8 Pokemon on your bench, and you really need this play since mostly you have 3 or 4 Noctowl in play, which already takes 4 bench slots, and yeah, you really need this bench spot. Some Tera Boxes are actually playing 3 Area 0 Underdepths, but I think 2 are already enough to be in this deck. And yeah, then we're coming to our energy. We're playing 4 Grass Energy for our TMS Ogerpon to attach, and of course to attack with Pikachu eggs and have a draw with the TMS. We're playing 1 Water Energy for our Wellspring Ogerpon, 2 Lightning Energy for our Pikachu eggs and our Terapagos eggs. I thought 2 actually was better than 1. 1 Psychic Energy for our Lillie's Clefairy, 1 Fighting Energy for our Cornerstone, and of course 1 Metal Energy for our Pikachu eggs. And yeah, that's my Tera Box Decklist. I really love this deck. Like I already said, I'm playing a bit different than the regional players, but I still really love this deck, and maybe I take it to the next League Challenge or League Cup. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. And goodbye!